There's a reason why we do extreme things in Tibetan Buddhism. You've probably heard of the 6 yogas and the practice of Tummo. For example, the practice of Tummo, you basically sit in your underpants, and in an ideal situation, you'll be sitting out in the snow, and they wrap your body in a wet blanket. If I said to you, okay, we're going to spend 3 years doing Tummo, we're going to sit out on a mountaintop, you're going to have to take your clothes off, a wet blanket around you in -10 weather, and you're like, yeah, I'm up for that. That sounds great. And then we go out on the mountaintop and do everything we said we're going to do, and then you turn around and say, why are you abusing me? That's kind of strange, isn't it? Really what happens is people think they're up for it. They hear about the high practices. They get kind of mesmerized by the stories of the masters of the past, realizing the Dzogchen and the Mahamudra, stories of dakinis flying in the sky, meditating monks in Himalayan monasteries in the mountains, and they become mesmerized by this. And then when they come and try to do the practices and they find they're not able to, they can't accept the fact that they weren't up to it. And so they look to blame someone else. I was in retreat with someone who begged to go into retreat. Not only that, he didn't have a lot of money, but he got an inheritance, and he spent all of that money in order to get a place in retreat because he was so keen. In the first week, he was acting as if somebody had forced him to be there. I mean, you pay money to go there. You give up your life. You give up your job. Give up your girlfriend, as I did in my case, knowing full well that you're going to be expected to spend 4 years meditating. I mean, we don't even sleep in beds. Nobody hid that fact from me. You know you've got to get up at 3 in the morning. That if you're lazy, you have to meditate 8 hours a day. If you're doing the bare minimum, you're going to meditate 12 hours a day. And there's no holidays. You're totally aware of this. And then you pay for it. And then you turn around and, like in the first week, like this guy, and just complain as if somebody's forcing you to do it. It's just complete madness. You should not be in any illusion about this. And so why am I saying this? Well, it's to point out this important consideration. And if you read Words of My Perfect Teacher, right at the beginning, Patrul Rinpoche states, the first thing you need to do is to check out your teacher. You have to know who you're going to rely on before you rely on that person. And the teacher has to check out the students. I do this in my retreats. When we do retreats, I vet everybody on Zoom. I have to speak to them one-to-one because I know how important the participants are. And so if somebody maybe is going in for the wrong reasons, or you think that it's going to be too tough for them, I'd rather they didn't join. And so far this has worked out well because we've had 2 really successful retreats. The second one I was a little bit less careful because I wanted to open it up more to beginners, but luckily things didn't go wrong. I should have been a bit more strict. So the student has to check out the teacher. You have to know who the teacher is, what their methods are, what they're going to expect of you. And then on top of that, the teacher needs to check you out. There needs to be a relationship there. You don't go into these things willy-nilly, just like you're not going to go into parachuting or base jumping or free riding where you go down the side of a mountain on a mountain bike. These aren't for beginners. Retreat is not for a beginner.